The topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the host and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Who is January Jones? She is not a young, beautiful, talented actress on Mad Men. She is not an older, gorgeous, exotic dancer from the Johnny Carson Show. She is an author, and she wrote, Thou Shalt Not Whine, the 11th Commandment, that reached #1 at Amazon.com. She is a reality TV golf personality with World High Stakes Golf televised on HDNet. She is a humorist and winologist expert. She is your featured host today on January Jones Sharing Success Stories. So sit back, relax, and get ready to laugh and listen to Ms. Jones with her eclectic roster of guests as you learn life's lessons. These stories plus sharing equals success. Welcome, and remember, beware, because you are entering the no whining world of January Jones.
Now, for my listeners, let me ask you a question. What are your core values? Core values. Think about it. Tell me, can you imagine what it would be like to examine your own beliefs, the real true ones, the ones deep inside of you? Have you ever wanted to know why your partnerships don't work? Well, that's a question we've all asked at one time or another. Now, would you like to learn what happens when there is actually inspiration at work? Tell me, have you ever heard of a program called MC 365? It is Motive Creations. Now, would you like to meet someone who has some of the answers that we're looking for today? Now, are you ready to learn how to be successful and how to share mutual success with others? If you can answer yes, or maybe, to any of these questions, then you are in the right place. And I would like to welcome you to January Jones Sharing Success Stories. Today I'll be introducing you to my co-host. He's a success coach extraordinaire, and he will provide us with information, inspiration, and some really, really great advice about how to be successful and how to inspire others. I'm pleased to announce that this show is now live on Talk4Media, and we are syndicated on 6 networks with over 5 million listeners to date. We are archived 24/7 for your listening pleasure. So now it's time for you to sit back and relax as you enter the no wine zone. Pour yourself a glass of wine, get some cheese and crackers, and enjoy our show. Let me tell you a little bit about my co-host today. He is an executive coach, relationship coach, professional speaker, and author with over 25 years of organization development, human resources management, and business consulting experience. He has coached Olympic athletes to reach peak performance through mental conditioning. He shares his knowledge, enthusiasm, and passion for helping others to be truly successful in their lives in a variety of ways. It's my pleasure to welcome today my co-host and dear friend, Dr. Bob Rutolo. Hi, Dr. Bob. How are you doing today?
Oh, great, January Jones. Wonderful to be with you and your listeners.
Oh, it's always fun to have you on the show. So let's talk a little bit about Motive Creations. It's an incredible website that I have spent some time on today, and I've been there many times before. What prompted you and Dr. Ed to come up with this concept?
Well, Dr. Ed and I have been working with organizations and individuals and teams for many, many years, and we've noticed that to the extent that people could be positively motivated every day depends very much on what they think about and who they associate with. And the doctor had one of his hobbies was to really look for quotations that really hit the mind and the spirit in a very positive way. He began to collect those. And over time, he began to organize them, and we began to work together, and it became a passion of his. And then the two of us said, well, this can really be very instrumental in helping people to every day have a very positive outlook and to learn something every day on how they can live life more fulfilling. And so we came up with Motive Creations. And again, like I said, I have to say this was a passion of Dr. Ed's, and he and I have found this such a wonderful, wonderful work and object to focus on and produce. So that's the background.
Okay. Well, I've worked with both of you in the past, and I adore both of you, and it's so wonderful to have you visit with us on the show. Today, we're going to talk about the 4 core values and the beliefs that guide your success. Now, let's talk about core values, because we all think we have them, but sometimes I think we're not so sure.
Well, very true. I spent a lot of time working in organizations, and most of us probably have somewhere along the line seen mission statements and value statements, and also, we see them posted on the wall. And we have to ask ourselves, why were they created in the first place, and what value do they have, and how do organizations use them? So that's kind of where I began to start reflecting on, well, why do we even have such a set of tools or statements made? And as I began to look at organizational behavior in more depth, I recognized that understanding the core values and beliefs of an organization are central to its being as an entity, and it's also the essence of its culture if it lives in accord to its true values and beliefs.
Okay. And so how do your core values affect the decisions you make, the people you are attracted to, and who you attract to your enterprise?
Well, they really are true. They're truly unconscious guides. If you really look at, and what I also began to do over time was say, okay, I've worked in a number of organizations, and I also have looked at how best do I identify whether or not I fit within a particular organization. And I found that my value alignment was very critical to my ability to feel comfortable and to perform effectively within different organizational cultures. I literally have left businesses. I have not formed agreements and contracts with organizations because their values and beliefs were not in line with mine.
Okay. So that would definitely affect how you go forward. And now you coach people how to design a strategic framework. And if they already have one, re-examine it. And I'm confused about strategic framework. I know it's a clear vision and mission statement, but lots of times I hear people talk about mission statements, and I'm very confused with what they're saying.
Okay. Excellent concern and question to raise. My background is in organization development and studying organizations and how they function, and over time. So I began to learn as a student of organizations that organizations that had developed for themselves a framework that provides self-direction enables them to manage their way more effectively and guide the way more effectively over time than those who don't. Those who just focus on a short-term gain, meaning let's say your annual plan, or some of them may be 2 or 3 years out, and just are goal-focused, normally wind up in predicaments.
Okay.
Because they don't have a framework. They don't have a guide on why they exist. and what they're trying to create. So the purpose of a strategic framework is primarily to think strategically. So it's okay to be able to and ask the important why questions. Okay. Why do we exist? What is our contribution? Where are we heading? And how are we going to get there? That's where the strategy comes in. That's where, what are they? And so there's a methodology that I have used over the years, developed myself, and also have gleaned from other similar kinds of methodologies to help individuals, teams, and organizations to develop what I refer to as a strategic framework.
Okay, so now let's just put it into plain English.
Yes.
Once you answer the why questions, then you can create a game plan, right?
Correct.
Okay, I love it. Now, that's our game plan now is to hear from our sponsors. And when we come back, we're going to talk with Dr. Bob Rutolo more about Motive Creations and MC365. We'll be right back.
Joining January Jones as her co-host on the show is Miles Miller, the great success creator. Miles is a 2-time best-selling author with books entitled Against the Grain and Successonomics. He continues to transform 100,000 people all over the world through his speaking and training. His uplifting and essential messages like Bulletproof, Time Machine, and Strength in Numbers are impacting every audience he meets. Together with January Jones, they'll explore how to be successful and what steps you can take to achieve the success you want. Visit successhq.net, leadup.biz, and learningbreaks.com. The Boy on Shady Grove Road explores a humble but adventurous childhood in rural Arkansas during the 1940s and 50s. Clyde McCulley's juvenile innocence and sense of wonder capture universal mysteries and dreams of childhood while coming to terms with family, friends, and faith in the segregated South. With wit and heartfelt gratitude, The Boy on Shady Grove Road ponders the most basic questions while celebrating the warmth of belonging, the joys of freedom, and the simple pleasures of life. Available on Amazon and StoryNightPress.com. Lately, there's a whining epidemic in our world. People are even whining about whining. Are you sick and tired of listening to everyone whining all the time? So was January Jones, the author of Thou Shalt Not Whine, the 11th Commandment that reached number 1 at Amazon.com. Ms. Jones based her book on a survey of the top 10 things that people whine about at all ages and all stages of life. January is a success coach that can tell you how to help others. When you buy Thou Shalt Not Whine, the 11th Commandment, you'll find out what people whine about and how to stop them from whining. This is the perfect gift book to give or get for any occasion. Thou Shalt Not Whine was voted the best gift to be given anonymously for those special people in your life. Ms. Jones is an internationally known author in the style of Irma Bombeck, specializing in housewife humor with her book being published in Korea and China. You can find Thou Shalt Not Whine at Amazon.com.
Today, we're with a dear friend who's a co-host, Dr. Bob Rutolo, and I can share with you personally that he is not a whiner. That's why I adore working with him. Dr. Bob, would you share a little bit about your book, Inspiration at Work?
Yes, Inspiration at Work was a book I wrote back in 1997. I can't believe it was so long ago now.
Okay.
And what I love about it is that basically it is as relevant today as it was when I wrote it. And the title of it was interesting because I was working in corporate America at the time, and the first title I had for it was Being Truly Alive. Being Truly Alive. And that doesn't sell very well in corporate America. Okay. So I said, well, what other message am I really delivering here in a corporate context? And I said, inspiration at work. And two ways. Yeah, because it was inspiration working for you was it has a double meaning. And inspiration in